Hello, everybody. My name is Raven Honey. Welcome to Tea with Honey. I am so excited about today's episode because we're going to get into some drama. I have a very special guest today who is not only my friend, but also my family and fellow content creator and enthusiast, Nick.
Hi.
Who I just learned goes by Nick and no longer Nikki, which is how I've known you my entire life. So it's going to be weird calling you Nick, but I'll do my best.
I know. Just to spend our childhood together, knowing each other by one name, and then switch it on you at the last minute, 10 minutes before your podcast recording.
I know. See, I never changed my name, and it's easy for everybody. And then all you people, I have so many friends in high school, I can't even tell you, who've like... You know, they've changed their names like 3 times, and I'm like, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. Like, how can I keep up with all your name changes and, you know, different nicknames? And I guess it's just because I have a cool name. I've never wanted to do like a nickname.
I think everybody should wear a name tag at all times now.
I know.
We have to.
I don't even, like, I want to be able to call you something. I don't know. And then it's like, how do I refer to you, like, to people who have also known you for a long time, but know you as that name? And I'm like, well, but now they go by this. It's like, but like, you know, progress in our society. I can't complain too much. Like, good for you.
No,
good for you.
We can't complain. We love to see the progression.
I love it. Listen, pick your names. Awesome. It's just like, for me and my like no memory, it's like, I'm going to fuck up. Like,
Mm-hmm. I
okay.
definitely feel that.
So, drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know, there's a lot of scandals nowadays. A lot of stuff's going on. Lately, there's been a lot of cheating from various people, not even just the person we're going to talk about first today, because I do want to talk about multiple. And there might even be more out. Like, by the time this gets posted, this could be super outdated. This could be old news, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I've been seeing it all over the place, and it made me unlock my knowledge of these people because I really don't have none. But the Try Guys cheating scandal, which... You love the Try Guys. I don't know. I'll just talk about my history with them, I guess, first, before I let you dive into it. But because Nick is wearing her Try Guys multicolor sweatshirt for this, so definitely in the moment here, definitely dressed for the occasion. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we love a theme.
We do love a theme. So the Try Guys, I've heard the name. I mean, they're like BuzzFeed YouTube people. I've seen clips here and there just like on my Facebook, just people sharing it. I know they were on Good Mythical Morning, which I do watch. I couldn't tell you any of their names except for Eugene. I know Eugene kind of separately from the Try Guys because of what he's done outside of them and in like their separate clips. If you had asked me like what group, and I knew he was part of a group, I didn't know what it was called, though. So if you were like, oh, you know the YouTube group that Eugene's a part of? I would have been like, BuzzFeed Unsolved? I don't know. What is it? And so I learned that he's in the Try Guys from this scandal. Because who the fuck is Ned?
Wow.
I didn't know who that was. I only knew Eugene and the funny face looking guy, Keith. I knew those two. And that's all I knew.
They are the best, in my opinion.
Well, good that I know those ones.
They are my 2 favorites.
Okay, well, good. I had the two good ones. So, but that's all I knew. So when this hit, I was like, first of all, who is this man? Try Guys is Eugene and Keith. I don't know who these other guys are. So, I don't know. That's all I know. And one thing I did know is that my dear cousin Nick loves the Try Guys. I know I knew that hoodie was a reference to it. I've seen you mention it before. That's mostly how I knew the Try Guys, honestly, is through you and people I know who know them. So I had to text you and get your opinion.
Day one, I made a TikTok about it, like me and my husband did, because we're Try Guys stans. Like, we have the bobblehead set, all 4 of them. We have their book that they made together, The Hidden Power of Fucking Up. We have the book, it's signed.
Wow.
All 4 of them signed it. Yeah.
No.
And then I have this sweater. Yep. I have so much Try Guys merch. I've been in love with the Try Guys since I saw them. Their very first video I ever watched them on was their BuzzFeed video of the trying ancient Olympics.
Wow.
So they were literally naked, booty naked.
Whoa.
Slathered in oil,
Okay.
And they were participating in ancient Olympic games. So like the very first Olympics, they did those games the same way that they did in ancient Greece. And I was obsessed with them after that. I was like, I will follow these guys. I will watch all of their videos. They are absolutely hilarious. They are my designated serotonin daily dose.
That's crazy. Because a lot of the stuff I've been seeing on like Twitter and social media is like people are just learning about the Try Guys now. Even though I know they have like millions of subscribers, but that's a lot of what I'm seeing. So I'm happy that I know somebody who's like so intimately aware of them. So Nick, I want you to take me back. I want you to take me back. Okay. To the moment I don't know where it was, I found out on Twitter. I don't know if you were on Twitter, if somebody told you, if there was some post. I want you to take me back to that moment where you found out that Ned cheated on his wife.
Raven, let me just tell you, it was the day that they posted it on their Instagram stories, because guess who checks their Instagram stories religiously?
You.
Every time I see there's a new one on my feed, wow, I have to know. And let me tell you, to my surprise, the audible gasp that came out of my voice, and I had to I almost threw my phone at my husband. I was like, look at this. And
I thought you were going to say I almost threw up.
No, I almost threw my phone. I was like, look at this. Have you seen this? And of course he hadn't seen it. It said like posted 2 minutes ago. Like the only people who have seen it are the crazy people. But then I went I saw it on their main page, and then I went to each of their pages individually just to make sure that what I was seeing wasn't a troll.
Oh my God.
And of course they had planned this, right? Like they wanted all announce it at the same time. So every single member had the same post. Every single one of their wives had the same post also on their Instagram pages and their stories. They all shared it to their stories. Yeah. And then Ned posted his own, and he was saying like, I was waiting for Ned to post it because I was like, there's no way that all of this is happening and Ned doesn't say something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was the last to post an update, and he was basically like, yeah, I should have been focused on my family. That's what I'm going to do now. Please respect this time, all this stuff. And then I went to Ariel's page, his wife, and it said, I don't remember exactly what it said. I could probably pull it up, but she's basically talking about how like this is a shock to obviously everybody, but there are children and family involved. Mm. So we would really appreciate the privacy for our kids. And I was like, man, once she brought in the kids, I was like, it's real. Like, this is not I was like, this is not a joke. They're not going to come out with a video in 5 weeks saying, oh,
Ned
you
guys
thought we would do
getting canceled.
Literally, I was like, the Try Guys try to get canceled. That would be a great pull one over our eyes type video.
No, it's real.
Once she had mentioned her children in her post, that's when I knew it was real. I was
oh my God. I see. Okay, so you found out the post that said that Ned is no longer a part of the Try Guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I found out, I mean, not that it mattered as much to me, but I saw that like a day later when I was like, oh, fuck, what happened? I saw like the pictures of him at the concert that everybody was talking about because that got posted all over Twitter. And then I kept seeing people saying like, that guy who made his life all about his wife, like, cheated on her, and here's these photos. And I saw that, and I was like, who is this guy? And then later I saw that Try Guys post. Mm-hmm. So that was crazy.
Yeah, even his bobblehead, 2 of the bobblehead sayings are, one of them is my wife, and the other one is, I hope my kids don't, or I hope my son doesn't see this when he's older, something like that, like something about his son and his wife. So like even his branded content is about his family, yeah.
I mean, that's sus to begin with. I don't trust a man who goes too hard for his wife. You know, you shouldn't have to try that hard.
That's so funny because you shouldn't have to try that hard. My husband said the same thing. Sam said the same thing. He was like, it's weird when your entire personality is your wife and your children. And I was like,
it's like something's going on. You're overcompensating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what and it kind of all came together because that TikTok that I had made was just a 8-second little clip. It was all of our bobbleheads were on the shelf, and my husband Sam had turned Ned to face the corner.
Yeah,
and I was like, did you turn him around? And he was like, we're shunning him. We're all shunning you, Ned. And I was like, ah. And in that kind of went viral. It's got like 200,000 views now.
I just saw, yeah.
That's crazy. Like the 400 comments, I found out that I didn't even know that this had happened. All I know is that from the posts that they had made on Instagram.
Yeah.
But from the comments of that TikTok that I had made, I found out more tea. Apparently, this affair had been going on for a year.
A year?
A year, yeah.
Oh my God.
And Alex, the girl that it was with, their producer, she was engaged for 10 years.
Engaged for 10 years?
Oh, no. She was with someone.
She was with them for 10 years and they're engaged.
Just got engaged. Yeah, they had just gotten engaged.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I knew she was engaged because I saw all that tea on Twitter.
Well, I got more tea in the comments, man.
Can you, like, just for our listeners who might not know, like, recap kind of like a summary of like what happened and how this got discovered, who it was with, like that kind of thing?
Yeah. So obviously I'm not in their inner circle, so I don't know all of the detailed information.
From what we know on the outside through social media, yeah.
From what I have seen be confirmed. Also, they posted today a video responsive.
I watched it while I was waiting for you to join. I watched it.
I watched it too. I got the notification on my phone. It said, "Bing, try guys." I was like, click.
Well, see, I had to search it because I'm not subscribed.
Oh no, I have the bell. I have like notifications turned on for their videos. Like I am always one of the first people to watch their videos.
I don't have notifications for anybody. Okay, go ahead and like recap what happened though. And you can say allegedly if nothing's confirmed.
For sure. So allegedly this affair started happening in March of 2021 when Alex got engaged to her 10-year boyfriend.
No, that's the worst time to start an affair.
Yeah. I know, right? And I don't know anything on Ned's side because I haven't seen anything come out about him like engaging. So I don't know who done it first type vibes.
Doesn't really matter.
All I know for a fact is that they had been having an on again, off again affair for a year.
Oh my God.
And the Try Guys themselves, Eugene, Zach, and Keith, they found out about it this past Labor Day weekend. When they were all in New York filming for their TV show, Food Network, that they just got signed. And people, like fans, had caught Ned and Alex in a club together, dancing and kissing. They were not being like
they were not trying to hide it.
They weren't trying to hide anything. Like they thought they were at this club and no one would recognize them, I guess. I don't know. So someone was snapping pics and videos and was messaging them. I saw this text message thread in a Twitter thread, but I couldn't see the recipient. So I don't know who these videos were being sent to, but they were being sent to someone saying, "Hey, isn't this that guy from the Try Guys?" And the person responding said, "Yeah, I think that's him. Isn't he married?" Like all this stuff. And they were talking about it. And then those pictures got sent to the Try Guys, like direct email.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
They were saying. That's what they were saying in the video that they posted today, that they received those photos and those text message comment threads in their email about it.
So,
and then that's that.
So wait, they knew, like, because I feel like this broke not that long ago, like not back in Labor Day weekend, because the pictures I saw were at a Harry Styles concert. Is this a different time?
No, the Harry Styles concert was I believe in New York, and they went to a club afterwards.
Okay,
so yeah,
got it. So this is the same situation.
Same day.
Got it. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, I watched that video. I knew you would. I watched it just so I could kind of like be aware. First Try Guys video ever seen. So, and
off their official page
that
they've had for 8 years.
Yeah, well, the only like video I've seen of them was the Good Mythical Morning one because I watch them every day. So
understandable. Rhett and Link, we stand Rhett and Link.
Let me say, if this was Rhett or Link, I would be heartbroken. So, like,
completely.
Vicariously, I feel like I can feel this. So, anyway, I did appreciate that they made that video. I was kind of thinking that, like, I mean, not knowing them, that they might, like, sweep it under the rug. Like, I get firing him because, like, he screwed everybody over with this. Like, it's not just him, it's the whole brand, basically, is tainted now because of him, right? So, like, I thought maybe they would just, like, do the removal thing and be like, oh, he's not working for us, and then just try to act like nothing happened. And I'm really glad that they didn't do that.
No, and I think that they didn't do that specifically because of Eugene, because Eugene is such a, like, he is such a creator in a way of, he does not want, allegedly, because I don't know him as a person.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel him as a creator, I could feel his emotions coming through that video that they just posted today. Like, I could
He looked mad. He looked upset.
How hurt he was by this. I think Eugene is the one that initiated the, like, okay, hold on, we don't want to go off of speculation. Like, we need to do our own internal investigation about this. We need to ask them directly. We need to do this by the book and correctly so that this doesn't turn into a canceling situation for the rest of us and all of these
Yes.
25 people that we have on our staff. You know what I mean?
Right. Which was the right thing to do, I think, because if they had just kind of not addressed it, I think they would have lost a lot of respect and viewers.
No, I definitely agree. And I think that he even mentioned it in the video. He was like, we're not going to sweep this under the rug because Ned was such a big part of our brand all the way from the beginning, that because they're a whole LLC together. Like all 4 of them are partners in an LLC.
Yeah.
So they're like, he's such a big part of this. We didn't want it to seem like we were in cahoots or like we knew the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're just as surprised as you are.
I'm sure that really like hurt them too, like to know like that's your friend, you know, like if I found out that like one of my friends who I'm so close to and work with and like make content with and have my whole livelihood around and who I'm like so close to was like cheating on their wife with somebody I knew and like I didn't know, and it just like I found out just like a regular person would find out, that would be hurtful on like multiple levels, you know. Like you didn't entrust that with me. I mean, why would he? But also it's like just the betrayal for everybody, you know?
No, yeah, that's the best word, because I mean, at the end of the day, he was keeping us, both of them. I'm not going to say he, it was her too. She had her part.
She knew.
But yeah, she was their whole producer. I mean, she knows what goes into producing a show. So she also knew the risk. But I think it's like pulling the wool over your eyes for a year, and you break that certain like foundation of trust. And it's like, well, what else are we not knowing? Like, what else have we
It could be
been
anything.
fooled
Anything
about?
could have been happening.
Literally. Yeah. And I think they made the very business and smart decision to cut ties with him after they did their investigation. Like, not just taking assumptions, but they were like, we're really disappointed in you, bro, but we got to do this because we got to do this for all of us. It's not just you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was the best decision to just like remove him. Like you don't want to subscribe to that at all. Like even if it is your close friend. Like, and that shows that they're like good people, you know. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, how did you feel? Because I don't really, the only one I kind of know is Eugene, even that I don't really know his personality. I do believe, like, I agree with you that he was kind of the one to be like, let's be transparent, because he just seems like that kind of guy. But before all this happened, what was kind of like the image of Ned? Like, how did like you and like the general fan base like feel about Ned specifically?
I mean, I liked him a lot. It's funny because when him and Ariel started their podcast, Baby Steps, when she was pregnant with their second son, and we had the same due date.
Yeah.
Me and my second child and her second child, we had the same due date. So I started subscribing to their podcast and listening to them discuss parenthood and all this stuff. And it really made him but he kind of is still, even though he's had this transgression, like a down to earth person. Like he's got problems just like the rest of us have problems. Although we now see that he may handle those a little differently than the rest of us do. But it's like they also have these milestones that they're trying to reach with their toddler while Ariel is pregnant. Like they also are going through these husband-wife milestones together during her second pregnancy, and it just made me feel really close to them as like people, I guess, because I would be listening to their podcast and I'm like, I'm going through the exact same thing right now. Oh my God, it's so crazy.
Yeah, it's a connection. You know? Yeah, we really feel that with like content creators. And I know people are always like, oh, it's bad to have like parasocial relationships with like celebrities and stuff. People said that a lot about like the John Mulaney cheating scandal, which I do want to mention in a little bit here, even though that was a long time ago, but I still want to talk about it because I like John Mulaney, or I did. People talked about like, oh, it's because you like held them on a pedestal and you felt like you were friends but they're not friends, but I don't think that's it. And like, sure, there's like some people who like honestly like believe that they're like friends with these people, but then there's people like you and me who just like really connect to certain content creators and relate to them. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, that's why we watch people, right? And you think like, this person is like me, so I'm not alone in this situation, you know? And I know I don't know them, but we're all human and we all go through these similar things, and that's how we connect. And so that's why it hurts so bad, because you think like, this person isn't like me at all anyway, and we no longer connect, and maybe I'm alone in how I'm dealing with these situations, because like, that's not what I would do. And it's a whole array of feelings surrounding that, you know, that really hurts.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head when you said, like, we relate to these people. It's not that they're famous and we want them to like us, so we're the same. It's like, no, these people are celebrities and they're still like me, like they're still like
Right.
us, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they're out here making content and grinding on their work and being authentic, air quotes, like we would like to believe. And then we're like, wow, like either you think here like, oh, I can do that too, or it's not all bad, or
Yep.
like, oh, if he can do it, I can. Like, oh, this is a great person to look up to type vibes. Like if you're getting out of a certain situation and you want to emulate someone who you want to pursue, like you want them to become almost like your role model, but not like an official role model, but like
Yeah.
emulate like certain character traits after that person, and then just to find it all unravel right before you, and it's like, well, is anything real?
Yeah.
Is it all a lie? Is everything content created just creation? Like,
It's all fake. It's not, yeah, because you know people do that. I feel like with like animated characters too. Like I see a lot of
mhm,
people connecting to like Bob's Burgers, for example. A lot of people connect to Linda. A lot of people
mhm,
connect to Tina in ways where they see themselves in those characters, and it makes them kind of feel better about their lives in a way. It's like she can be positive in this hard situation, so like I can too. But it's less of a risk, right? Because those
mhm.
characters aren't real. So it's kind of like a weird, like almost dangerous thing to connect to these real life people, but also it's even deeper connection because you feel like that person is real. It's not just like
Mhm.
an animated character voiced by some random man. You know what I mean? It's like this
Yeah.
real person out there. If they can do it, I can do it. And there's like a hope
Mhm.
there, right? And then it just gets shattered and you're like, are there really no good people out there like that make it, you know? Like if this is me, if I make it that far, am I going to turn into a bad person, you
Yeah, am
know?
I gonna have to sell out at some point and not like who I am anymore and have to lie and pretend
And
like
just be
I do?
fake. Yeah, and
Yeah.
hide a big part of myself like
Yeah, because we have to even remember this was going on for a year. So within all of the video, like all the wedding dress video where they had their wives on doing wedding dresses together, like
oh
the
god.
during the diving video when Alex is cheering for Ned off to the side, it's like you go back and you watch these videos and it's like it was not what it was perceived to be, and it's like
It's just like
there's just
sickening.
there's a different spin taken on all of the videos that they had posted in the
You
last
just
year.
see that it's fake. Like, how can you, like, look at your pregnant wife? Watch your pregnant wife give birth. Look at wedding dresses. Talk about how much you love your wife, knowing that you're screwing somebody else, knowing that. And even,
Knowing, aside from knowing you're with somebody else, knowing that the person behind the camera that is being operated right now is the person that you are screwing.
you're
Like,
literally talking about how much you love your wife in front of your mistress
mhm.
for
Yeah,
a year.
that's when it was like a for me. I was like,
I can't even understand that. That's wild. Yeah, but I just about that human connection thing. And then yeah, you do go back and it's different now. Like he wasn't telling the truth when he was saying those things. When he was talking about how devoted he was to his wife, which again, I don't watch a lot. I've just heard that this is like his thing about how he loves his wife. And so now people are looking at that like he was definitely overcompensating. So maybe to
mhm.
even throw people, and I'm sure it wasn't at first, and then maybe just kept doing it or doing it more just to throw people off the trail that he's not actually devoted to his wife. He's not actually loyal, which is just like gross.
Yeah. And then I also, again, allegedly, because I haven't heard anything from Ariel either, but
Right.
like I don't know we're not in their marriage, so I don't know what it's been like with them. I don't know what it's been like for her or for him from her. Like we don't know if,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that she is, but we don't know if she was like emotionally abusive. I don't think she would be, but we
Right.
don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there could have been something going on in the marriage that caused him to stray
Yeah.
and just stay away, but
Hmm.
it doesn't make it okay.
It
You know what I
doesn't.
mean?
There's no
It
excuse
doesn't.
for if you're not happy, you can leave.
Literally. Yeah, you could talk to your partner, you communicate, you're in this together through better for worse, sick and health, thick and thin, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's communicating. And at some point I believe in my heart that they just lost their communication.
Yeah,
And he
definitely.
went elsewhere.
And even if that were the case, like if he were being mistreated in the marriage, hypothetically,
Thank you. Hypothetically.
I don't believe that either. Let me just say, I don't think that either.
No,
And
and that's not my opinion. That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
any, but I do have to give the benefit of the doubt, like play devil's advocate, because we do not know for sure. We just don't.
There's a million possibilities. It could just have been a perfect marriage, and then he was just like, he let the fame go to his head. I don't know. He just like,
I don't know.
Developed feelings. We don't know. Hypothetically, though, if there were problems in that marriage, if something was happening and he did stray because of that, number one, it's not an excuse. Number two, I probably, and maybe you would agree, me as an outsider, you as a fan, let me know if you agree, if there was something happening in that marriage. And after all that and loving his wife and having all this stuff in this life and these children together, if he came out and was like, this is not working with me and Ariel, you don't even have to give reasons, but for these reasons, so we have decided to separate, and then he started dating someone else, I would hold him in a high regard.
There would have been more respect.
Definitely more respect.
Yeah. It's the respect factor. It's the fact that we don't trust you, so therefore we no longer we have respect for you in that aspect. You know what I mean? So if you were upfront about it in the first place, then that's a gateway to build more respect from other people. Yeah, I agree with you.
And now if he comes out later and says that there was something happening, people are less likely to believe him. Like, you're just trying to fix it. You're just trying to cover it up and make yourself look better. Whereas if he had said something before, again, hypothetically, if something was happening, hypothetically, then it'd be like, okay, well, at least like you stepped up and you took responsibility. You decided this was the best thing for you as a couple, for your children, and then you separated and then found someone new. That happens. It happens. You know, not everybody is meant to be together, but the way you go about it, it's just, there's no excuse. It might have been harder to do it that way, but look at where you are now. Your life is ruined. You have nothing.
I was just talking about that with my husband, like your podcast with your wife, your cookbook with your wife, your TV show with Food Network, and
your friends,
like your friendships, your reputation. Like,
jeez, yeah. Like, what can you even do now?
Because now, until the internet forgets about this,
which they won't.
Because, I mean, look at John Mulaney. They just won't.
I haven't forgotten.
None of us have. Case in point, Ned. There you go.
It's just so crazy. He literally like ruined his whole life over this fling. But then also, like, given all that hypotheticals of something was happening in the marriage, whatever, on her side, she was also in a relationship. So I don't know if I believe that bad things were happening in both those relationships that they were just trying to get away from.
At the same time.
At the same time. And she just got engaged. If there was problems, like, she could have said no. I don't know. She could have ended that thing. They're not married. It would have been much easier to break up if she wanted to pursue somebody else. So it's like, you know, from both sides, even if that was happening in one, it probably wasn't also happening in the other. That's just too much of a coincidence. And they knew each other. You know, they knew each other's partners. She presumably knew his children, and it's like, you still did it. And I just don't think there's any excuse for that I could even think of.
Yeah. It's I guess it's the integrity of it. You know what I mean? Like, for a year, how are you going to sit here, be face to face with your lover's children? You know what I mean?
I don't.
How are you gonna sit there and watch him be behind the camera filming a video with his wife, talking about how much he loves her and their marriage is great and they love the lives that they live together with their children, and then be with him in the evening, like.
And his wife, like, I want to know, like, I'm curious, like, when she found out, how she found out, if she knew before all this broke, or if she was finding out with everybody else, because that would be horrible.
I am curious, because we are all little curious Nellies out here, but I also have to go back to the respect factor. Like, that's just none of our business. You know what I mean?
I know it's not. And I know.
We know. We need to know.
But Ariel, I need that tea.
Ariel, you have to spill the tea for us, please. Is it piping hot or is it lukewarm, bitch? Let us know.
I mean, she might come out with something eventually, and, like, honestly, if she never wants to talk about it, like, good for her. You don't have to.
Yeah, at least their own.
I'm just thinking, like, what would have been the most painful, I think, is probably if she found out with everybody else. Because if she had found out quietly, and that's why he felt like he could just be more open about it, maybe, I mean, it's not better, but it's like, Oh, what's the
But man,
situation?
I cannot imagine. And if this is true, I am going to pray for that woman's heart tonight, because if she found out the same way that TMZ found out, the same way that people are texting her pictures and videos like, isn't this your husband in this club right now?
I would have
I would
died.
that would have broken me.
Oh my
It would have.
God.
Yeah.
I would never believe in love again.
I know.
Goodness gracious. Especially if really nothing was happening in their marriage, and to her perspective, everything was perfect. Because what sort of shattered fairy tale are you living in right now? Your whole world fell apart.
And I mean, allegedly again, right? We don't know
Allegedly.
if, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But no, for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, okay, so let's go to this. We've mentioned this a few times already, the John Mulaney thing, which is cold tea at this point, but I'm still pissed because
You can steep that tea bag a little bit more in that water for me, because
just
all I know
pop
is
that in the microwave.
all I know is the Cliff Notes version of
really?
the John Mulaney tea. Yeah.
Okay, wait, give me what you know about it. Like, summarize that for me, and I'll see if I can
Okay,
expand.
I know that John Mulaney cheated on his wife,
Yeah.
and he had a baby with that lady,
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
That's all you know. Okay, so
That's all I know.
I know a little bit more than that. A little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So turn it around. I feel like this Try Guy situation is exactly what I went through with John Mulaney. It was a little bit different because the cheating is alleged. The cheating itself hasn't been confirmed, but we all know allegedly. But we all know, because
We all allegedly know.
the timeline just doesn't add up for him to have broken up with his wife and then started sleeping with this woman. So, but I'll get into that. So, okay, John Mulaney, love him, did before. I watched all of his comedy specials, even the one that was for kids was really funny.
I loved that one.
This John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch. Yeah, it was good. And
Sometimes Grandma Dies is still on my playlist, or whatever that title was.
Grandma's
of that song.
Got a New Boyfriend.
There you go. That's the one. Something about Grandma.
So I know, and we're still laughing about it because he's a talented guy, which makes me so upset. I watched all his specials multiple times. In college, I was so into stand-up comedy. I still am, but I watched it all the time, and I watched John Mulaney over and over and over again. I watched everything he's done or created just because he's so funny and wholesome for the most part, but he still talks about real things. He's always talked about his past with addiction, with alcohol, with doing drugs, and how he overcame that and is better now. And he just seemed like such a nice, genuine person. And he would also talk about his wife. Now, people, what I think they're wrong is they're like, oh, all these guys who make their wives their personalities. I don't think John Mulaney did that. He did make it a big part. There's the comics who were like, oh, my wife's a bitch. And then there's the comics who are like, I love my wife. I don't think she's a bitch. Tom Segura kind of does that, where he's like, no, I love my wife. He has a podcast with his wife too, and they're really funny together. John Mulaney is has this joke where it's my wife's a bitch, but I like her a lot. I love her and all this other stuff. And he would talk about, he'd been talking about her since they were dating, how he just wants to be with her, buying a house with her, how they never planned to have kids. That was a big part, was that John Mulaney and his wife, Anna, didn't want to have kids. That was a whole big part of the comedy special, which is why it was even more heartbreaking for me that he had a baby with somebody else. So what happened was he actually relapsed on his addiction. I'm not sure if it was drugs or alcohol or both. And then some of his comedian friends held an intervention. He went to rehab, and his wife supported him the whole way through rehab, through his relapse, stayed by his side. As soon as he left rehab, he divorced her, which allegedly was a shock to her based on what she posted about it, which was I'm heartbroken that John decided to end our marriage. It wasn't a mutual decision. John decided to end it, and she was upset about it. I don't know if it was completely out of the blue. Probably not. I mean, but we don't know specifically. But he got out of rehab, immediately divorced his wife, and started dating Olivia Munn, who got pregnant immediately. So what probably happened, allegedly, but based on the timeline, what probably happened is he'd been sleeping with Olivia for quite a while, and when she found out she was pregnant, quickly divorced his wife to kind of evade suspicion, so it wouldn't come out that he got somebody pregnant while he was still married. So it was kind of his way of trying to fix it really fast, and then fudge the timeline a little bit. Like, yeah, we just started dating and she got pregnant immediately, which I don't think anybody believes. But even then, that's kind of sketch. You divorce your wife and then immediately fuck another woman and get her pregnant. Like, even that's sketch.
It is a little sus because, like, the only way that I would believe that is if Olivia, whatever her last name was, I'm gonna get it wrong. But if she was a one night stand and got pregnant, like it immediately happened, like a relapse type vibes.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we have a kid now, so we should stay together. That's plausible.
Yeah.
But like you were saying with the timeline, for him to start dating somebody right after the divorce,
sketch.
That's suspicious. That's sketch. Because if you just jump right into a relationship with someone after you ended a relationship, you were already interested in that person.
Definitely.
Like, you didn't have time to connect. You didn't have the time to...
For sure.
Blossom or whatever.
Yeah. And it probably happened during his relapse too, because, you know, drugs will do that to you. Drugs will make you fuck somebody else. And not that that's an excuse, like, oh, blame the drugs. Never. Like, you're still, like, consciously, you know what's right and wrong, but the drugs kind of, like, encourage you to make those wrong decisions. And so it was probably during his relapse. And then maybe during rehab they were talking or whatever, or during rehab found out she was pregnant. I don't know. Again, I don't know any of this stuff. This is just, like, what I'm creating in my mind based on the timeline. And so as soon as he was out of rehab, he was like, okay, gotta divorce my wife, get with Olivia because she's just newly pregnant, and I can fudge the timeline and say that I divorced my wife before she got pregnant, which I, you know, could have happened. I don't think it did.
But then at the same time, to be that calculated, like, that's kind of scummy. Like,
pretty scummy.
Goes back to the integrity argument. Like, if you can't come forward and be like, yeah, I fucked up, I fucked this bitch while I was married, you know it's wrong. You're trying to cover it up in different ways to still tell the truth, but it's still wrong.
I would have had more respect for him if he was just like, listen, I fucked up, I cheated, she got pregnant, I figured this was the right thing to do for my future kid, that's why I did it, you know, sorry to Anna, I shouldn't have put her through this, but this is what the decision that I think is best. And I still would have been upset. But I would have had respect for him telling the truth rather than trying to fake it and say, oh, no, I just happened to immediately get this woman pregnant right after I divorced my wife. Because even if that was true, even if that was the story and there was no cheating involved, still pretty freaking scummy. Like, I still would have been mad. Like, how could you do that to her? You were married for this long. You planned to live your whole life with her. You always talked about how you didn't want to have kids with her, and then now immediately you're having a baby with somebody else. And I don't know if, like, Anna and him were super adamant against kids. It could have been just Anna, so maybe she's not that upset about it. It could have been John, and Anna was just like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm okay with not having kids. Like, because that would really affect how she felt about that. Painful either way. Either your husband cheats on you and then divorces you to be with that woman, or your husband divorces you and then immediately dates somebody else. Both are painful. But you and your husband decided to never have kids. Like, that was like something that you guys talked about and confirmed with each other. And then as soon as he leaves you, he has a baby. And it's like, I thought you said, you know, like, I thought that wasn't your thing, you know? So I don't know. I was just heartbroken for her, and I just can't. I think another, like, John Mulaney, like, special or something came out after that, and I just couldn't. Like, something with him came out, and I just couldn't watch it. And I can't rewatch his stuff anymore because I just, like, know that underneath that is, like, not actually the person I connected to, you know?
Yeah,
and that's
the person you thought.
Right, exactly. And that's where that, like, whole parasocial thing comes out. I didn't have a parasocial relationship with John Mulaney. I really liked him as a comedian, and I connected to him through his comedy. I related to a lot of stuff, and obviously I don't know him, and I'm not, like, pretending like I do know him. It's just anybody who does that, who you liked or looked up to at all, it hurts you, you know? And I feel like, in retrospect, because he talked so much about, like, his struggles that he's had with, like, drugs and alcohol and with, like, his own, like, mental health, it's not like it completely came out of nowhere with, like, the relapse and whatever, because I would never judge anybody for relapsing. I would never judge anybody for going to rehab. That part of it I understood, because when you're an addict forever. It just... Sometimes you don't relapse for 20 years. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you never relapse again. But there's always an addict in there, right? And I respect that, right? And I get that mistakes happen. But then you bring this whole other thing into it that's like these decisions that you can control, because with addiction, sometimes it just gets out of control and that's not really your fault based on the addiction. But then you go and you make these decisions on top of it, and that's when it's hurtful. And that's when I thought, like, because he did talk about how much he loved his wife. He's talked about addiction, that's why I wasn't surprised, and I supported him through that part. But because he had talked about his wife and stuff, I can't go back and feel genuine about that anymore, because I'm sure it was true at the time, but it's not true anymore. It's just not. And maybe it was never true. I don't know. And so I can't go back and watch it the same way.
Yeah, it's like once you see behind the curtain at the Wizard, the magic is gone.
Gone.
The luster's not there anymore. It's like, and now, like, and going back to the Try Guys, it's not like I'm not going to stop watching the Try Guys if they choose to continue making more videos, but I know it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was their dynamic that they had together that made them successful, leaving BuzzFeed, starting their own channel, and bringing 1 million people over to their channel before they even posted their first video. You know what I mean? It's that connection that they made with their fans. So I don't think that they'll have as high viewership as they used to. I don't think they'll have as many people come back and stick around for them as they did. However, I don't think that should count against them as a group still trying to continue on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Still, the Try Guys, try maybe TRI now, not TRY, but Try Guys nonetheless.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't their fault, but it affects them too. And I don't think Ned or other people like this even consider how they're affecting other people. Like, not just your wife, everybody around you. And I feel like it's like that in real life too. Because if, like...
It's like a ripple effect, right? You drop a pebble into the water and there's a bunch of casualties that are in the wake.
Even just, like, regular people who aren't famous. Like, if I found out that, like, my best friend cheated on her partner, that would hurt me, too. And it would hurt her partner's family. And it would hurt her own family thinking that she's that type of person to do that, And this is just on a much grander scale.
Yeah. And I mean, even both of us sitting talking to each other right now, if I found out you were cheating on your boyfriend, or if I was over here cheating on my husband and we're having this conversation with each other right now, like, even on a smaller scale, like, that's also like,
I would be hurt. Like, if I found out that, I know you wouldn't, but if I found out that you were cheating on Sam, I'd be like, damn, she was my cousin.
I know, right? On my whole podcast.
Oh my God, on my podcast. She really came on here.
I know. You really came. Bitch, you really came on here.
And
you really talked to me about other people.
I can't believe this shit. I know. That'd be heartbreaking. And we're just,
I know, right?
Two small people.
Yeah. But I also think that's a good, like, thing to remember, that everybody is just a person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Everybody. Like, even Lizzo, just a person.
Just a
Lady
person.
Gaga, just a person. Like, even though Lizzo made absolute history this past weekend by getting to play James Madison's crystal freaking flute that no one has heard him play. Like,
and she did it beautifully.
Beautifully, flawless, period. Absolutely flawless. Didn't sound like 100-year-old flute at all. 400 years, however it was.
We stand
Lizzo. But at the end of the day, she's still a person,
right?
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She still has morning breath when she wakes up. Her heart still breaks just like the rest of us. She still has, like, feelings and thoughts and emotions just like the rest of us. Like, so is everybody. You cut their arms, they bleed red just the same. Like, I feel like it's another aspect. We're the ones that allow them to crash in the first place. You know what I mean? By putting them up so high.
Yeah, putting them up on a pedestal, exactly. Putting people way high up there, and then, like, as if they're not a person, but, like, they are. And I've definitely worked on that in the past few years, because I used to be the person who was, like, obsessed with, like, celebrities, and, like, and certain celebrities could do no wrong in my eyes, like, high school, even, like, through a lot of college. And in recent years, even before I moved to LA, but especially since I moved to LA, just, like, having that conversation with myself of, like, why do I do this? Like, why do I idolize people who I don't even know, who are just people, and then I let them break my heart, which might have been, I guess, I worked on it a little bit before, but definitely around the John Mulaney thing, and other celebrity scandals like that too. Like, there's different ones, like Chris Pratt and Anna Faris divorced.
That was a shock to me too.
I was like, they're just people, and people fall out of love, and people, like, I don't know if it's just like in the fame, I mean obviously it happens in real life, but if in the fame world especially, it's just like this whole different life that I don't even understand, where you get like this big head and you get all these people like throwing themselves at you, and then you're weak and you make those mistakes, you know. And it's like, because you're a person, you make those mistakes. Like, just because I hold you up and think of you as perfect doesn't mean you, and I'm not saying I ever thought Chris Pratt was perfect, let me just say that was just an example.
But have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy? We can go ahead, that's a different topic.
Listen,
of conversation.
he's beautiful and all, but I never felt that way about him. That's just like an example of, like, you know, people are people, no matter how famous they are, no matter how much money. So I've definitely worked on like undoing my celebrity worship, and I feel a lot better. I don't feel like, because I'll like compare myself to celebrities, and I shouldn't do that, because I shouldn't compare myself to anybody, you know. It's just like me doing my own thing and doing what I want to do. Just because I wasn't like a billionaire at 18 doesn't mean I'm a failure, and I shouldn't compare myself to those people, and I shouldn't put undeserved love and trust and praise into someone that I don't even know. Yeah. And I'm hoping that a lot more people will like realize that, especially like after this and all the cheating scandals. I mean, there was one with Adam Levine. There was, you know, which was also recent, or back to the John Mulaney one, or even the Olivia Wilde drama that happened recently. So I'm hoping more and more people, like, with this, something positive they get out of it is to like not do that, is to not put people up on pedestals like that, because they will make mistakes and they will disappoint you.
Yeah, and I mean, even going back to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial that we all just went through. Disney dropped Johnny like that before he even was able to make a name for himself, and then they ended up paying him $8 million to come back and do a movie because they fucked up. Like, that
was wild. That whole the way that people followed that trial was honestly like kind of scary, and like
honestly scary, because it gives me vibes on two aspects. Like, why are we so invested in these people's private lives?
So deep. That's what I thought. It's just so deeply personal. Deeply personal. Your divorce trial with like alleged abuse, and the whole world is watching. What the fuck?
It makes me think, like, what's the government trying to cover up? First of all, I'm not one of these crazy conspiracy theory people, but when a divorce trial goes on for that long and it is encompassing that much airtime, like, what are you not trying to show is my first question. But then the second question is, are we not trying to cover anything up, and the world is genuinely just this dim-witted that we want to watch every single second of this trial? Like, why do we care?
Why am I going to waste my time watching somebody else's divorce trial? People I don't even know.
Life. It's not my life. They're not my problems. They're not my friends or family. When this stops airing, it's not going to affect me in any way, shape, or form.
I feel even my friends and family, I'm not going to watch every moment of your divorce trial. Like, I don't, and it literally affects me none. Like, not at all. Like, I don't even care as much as, I mean, I like Johnny Depp, I guess, but it's like, I like him through his characters. I don't know him as a person. I'll still watch his movies because it's not him, it's the character, you know? Why do I care about their personal life like that? And some people would like then like do like live reactions and recaps and these like breaking down Amber's facial expressions, and it's like, what kind of life are you living? Who has the time? Why are you doing this?
My entire FYP was a new meme made from the trial. Every single YouTube video was commenting on the trial. Every single tweet that I saw was encompassing something that Amber Heard or Johnny Depp said. And I guess that goes back to like us putting people on a pedestal. Like, why are we putting that much effort into stuff that doesn't matter?
Don't you have anything better to do? Something that like you like can do with your mind, with your body, that's not... I just don't understand how you could like commit yourself to this. I don't even have the words. Like, it's so wild. And I tried my best to avoid all of it. I was like, I'm not going to click on this freaking stupid video, on this meme about a divorce trial with alleged abuse, a meme about that. Like, what the fuck? And all these like Facebook video compilations and TikToks. I don't even really watch TikToks anyway. I just make them. But Instagram. I was like, I'm not watching this shit. I'm not. And then, you know what's funny? As much as I tried to avoid it as much as possible, two things. One time I went to a burrito place near me around this time when I was doing laundry. It was right next to my laundromat. And I walk in and there's a tip jar. And on one half of the tip jar, it's Johnny Depp. And on the other half, it's Amber Heard. And it was like, whose side are you on? And there was like money in both sides. And I was like, this is so stupid.
It's getting too out of hand.
This is out of hand. And the tip jar at my burrito place. These are real people. These are real people going through a divorce, and we're voting with tips. This is how you try to get money. And then another one around that time when I was getting a summer camp job, and it was with kids, so I had to get fingerprinted, right, for a background check. And I walk into the fingerprinting place, and the trial is on the TV. It's just one lady working there, and she's just watching this trial. And so I'm fingerprinting while, like, court talk is happening, and lawyer talks, and just Amber Heard's face. And it was a regular-ass freaking trial. And then we had to go back there like a week later when my boyfriend got the same job as me, so he also had to get fingerprinted. He just got the job after. So we went to that same place. She's still the same lady. She's still there. She's still playing the trial, and it's a week later.
Keeping up.
She
keeping up with those people.
She had it on all day, every day it was happening. I was like, bro. And then my boyfriend made a joke at the end, like, are you on Johnny's side? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, this is crazy that we're picking sides on someone's divorce trial who we don't even know.
It's going to be Ned and Ariel next, apparently.
Oh, my God. You think they're going to get divorced?
I hope not, but I did notice that she took wife out of her bio on Instagram.
Well, even if they weren't getting divorced, it's probably like, it'd be weird. She probably didn't want to reference her husband for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people should leave their cheaters, to be honest with you. I feel like she should, because, like, you don't deserve that, and who's to say he won't do it again if it did come out of nowhere. But, you know, famous people, they be cheating. It's happened a lot lately. It's been happening always, but it's just like boom, 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 one after the other. So this one was the most recent one. Right before this was the Adam Levine stuff, where he's like, we don't know if he cheated, but we know he did DM a lot of Instagram models. Some like sexual things, which, you know, it's cheating. He could have been sleeping with them. He could have been not. It's cheating on some level, you know? And then before that, I mean, long before that was John Mulaney, but actually, like, not too long ago was Olivia Wilde, who is unconfirmed as cheating. I kind of believe her when she says she didn't cheat on her husband. Do you know about that stuff, by the way? Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis?
I like to live under a rock.
Okay, well, cool. I'm going to tell you about it then, because I talked about it a little bit in the first episode of my podcast when I talked about the drama surrounding the movie Don't Worry, Darling. But new info has come out since then about Olivia Wilde, because she's like talked about it since then, and some of my info that I like stated, I forgot to say allegedly, but I'm just saying now that she allegedly cheated on Jason Sudeikis with Harry Styles. And Harry is the star of her new movie, Don't Worry, Darling. And he got the part because they were dating, obviously, because it was originally Shia LaBeouf in the role. They had a falling out. He dropped out. And so Olivia cast Harry. And they're still dating now. But she was married to Jason Sudeikis, who, of course, was on SNL. And now he's the star of Ted Lasso and does a whole bunch of stuff. Funny guy. And he's married to Olivia Wilde for a while. They have a kid, at least one. I don't really know too much about their relationship. I just know that they were married. And she was presenting something like on stage at some award show, and then someone comes up and hands her like a folder while she's on stage in front of all these people, and she doesn't know what it is. She's like, oh, is this a script? And she opens it, and it's divorce papers from Jason Sudeikis on stage. And I think I know, right? And I think at that point she'd already started seeing Harry Styles, so they weren't officially divorced when she started seeing Harry. We know that for a fact, that she's dating Harry before they were officially divorced. But she has since come out and said that she did not cheat. Sorry, my foster kittens are meowing.
I can hear them. They sound so cute.
I'll show you them.
They're like, we want to talk too.
And I was like, we got a lot of stuff to say. Okay, anyway. Olivia Wilde has since then come out and said that she did not cheat on Jason with Harry, that their marriage was over long before she even met Harry. They were just not divorced yet, which is fair in some circumstances, because you usually are not happy until the moment you get divorced, right? You're usually separated for some time. Sometimes it's only a little while. Sometimes it's a really long time where you're separated, but you're still married, because divorce is a really long and hard and expensive process. And sometimes it's just easier to separate and not divorce. So I that makes sense to me. I believe her when she says that, because I feel like with women cheating on their husbands, it's different than when husbands cheat on their wives. Obviously, not every case is the same, but generally it's like, usually when men cheat, it's not because the woman is doing something to him, or he's just like unsatisfied sexually, or he just happened to see somebody who was hot and wanted to fuck her. And there's not anything necessarily wrong in the relationship. I feel like when women cheat, there's something wrong in the relationship. That's like more wrong. I have to agree.
Yeah, I do agree, because men historically, and I don't want to say allegedly, because this is a fact in some cases, are more physical beings, and women are more intellectual, emotional beings.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see that for sure. And I think that can mirror what's going on with Ned and Alex even too, because if you think about it, Alex has been in a relationship with her now fiance, I don't know anymore, allegedly.
Probably not.
She was with him for 10 years.
That's crazy.
Like, I've only been with my now husband. We're about to be married for 3. We're together for 5. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. Like, she's with her boyfriend for twice as long as I'm with my husband. Like, I could only imagine what she was going through, or what kind of communication issues they were having in their relationship. It's still not an excuse, granted. But I can say, I can only, like, we just don't know, like, the emotional aspect that she was also going through when Ned was there. You know what I mean?
And, I can actually relate to this, not the cheating part, but like the relationship ending before it's actually over. With my last relationship, was also my longest relationship so far.
So far.
I'm about to hit 2 years with my boyfriend now, so hopefully that keeps going. But my last relationship was 4 years. But the whole last year, I wasn't happy. We were long distance. We didn't see each other very much, and we didn't talk as much as we did. We just like texted all the time. And I got used to him not being there, and I just wasn't happy in the relationship anymore. I wasn't feeling like valued. Long before we ever broke up, I considered breaking up with him for much longer than I ever told him. He didn't know that I wanted to break up until we broke up. Like the week that he came to visit me, and we had some hard conversations, and then the last day we officially broke up. But I had been wanting to do that for months. I had been thinking about doing that and debating in my head for months. And, didn't tell him about it because I wasn't trying to tell him over text, or even over FaceTime. And all my friends knew about it. Usually when you're, like, broken up with, you're the last person to know. Yeah. So, and it's like, I wasn't, like, fully 100%. I didn't cheat. I would never cheat. Let me just say that. But I was not fully 100% in that relationship for the whole last year of it. So I believe Olivia when she says that her marriage was over before she started dating Harry, even though she wasn't divorced yet. So I don't think of her as a cheater. I know a lot of people still do, because they probably count it like, but you were technically married. And it's like, yeah, but there's logistics there.
I think if both parties are understood of the situation, it's not cheating. It's not your marriage to step out on.
Right. And it's probably... They probably were separated, and he decided to divorce her when she found somebody else, because that's just what you do. Yeah. It's like, okay, well...
Although I do like the extra little spice of doing it at an award ceremony.
Like, fuck you for moving on. Which that was funny. But... yeah, for sure. And, Jason, I don't know if he's like really said much since then. I haven't really been keeping up. I don't actively keep up with these things. But as far as I know, he hasn't really like said anything against her aside from divorcing her. And it's because he probably knew this was going to happen. He probably knew it was happening. I'm sure he was fully aware when she started seeing somebody else. And I'm sure it was over long before that happened. So, it's a whole different circumstance. It's a whole different situation than what happened with John, who tried to make it seem like that's what he did, but he obviously did not. And with Ned, who's still fully invested in his marriage, or seemed so, when he did this. And it would be different if they were still married, but it was obviously over. But he was like so gung-ho about his marriage. And that's why it's like so different. So yeah.
It is definitely two sides of a very different coin.
Yeah. So something I wanted to say, I have like a conspiracy, but it's not a full conspiracy. It's like I have the beginning to a conspiracy and I just haven't finished it yet.
Ooh,
but I'll tell you what it is. It's like having the setup to a joke and no punchline. So I have the setup to a conspiracy and maybe you can help me with it. Okay. Harry Styles, right? Mm-hmm. Ned and Alex got caught cheating at or after a Harry Styles concert, right?
Yeah.
Olivia Wilde allegedly cheated on her husband with Harry Styles, right? Mm-hmm. And her name is Olivia. John Mulaney cheated on his wife with Olivia Munn. So it's Olivia and Olivia with Harry, and they were caught at a Harry's concert. So all the cheating is connected somehow.
Is anything real? It's all a simulation. It's all a content simulation. It's all a distraction from the bigger picture of what the government is trying to keep from us.
John Mulaney, Johnny Depp. Whoa! So that's what I have. And you know what? That's what Don't Worry Darling is about. It's all a simulation. That's the plot of that movie, that her perfect life is all a simulation. We're all in a simulation.
This is all the famous people subtly trying to give us the inner secrets of the elite. They're subconsciously trying to feed us the secrets of the FBI agents behind all of our cell phone devices. They're trying to help us be woke.
I have more that I just remembered. Nick Kroll.
Oh my goodness, I love Nick Kroll. I just watched his comedy special last night.
Me too. I watched it yesterday. He's so good. Okay. Also another man who loves his wife. Don't fuck it up, Nick. Okay, Nick Kroll.
We're watching you, Nick.
We're watching you. Nick Kroll, right? He plays Olivia Wilde's husband in Don't Worry, Darling. Nick Kroll had a Broadway show with John Mulaney, who again cheated on his wife with a woman named Olivia, and Nick Kroll is married to Olivia in Don't Worry Darling, where it's all a simulation, starring her boyfriend Harry Styles, who she allegedly cheated with. It's all connected, Nick. It's all connected. It's there.
It's all connected. We just have to find the missing piece.
There's a piece I don't have.
There's one piece.
There's one.
You know who has that? You know who has that piece?
Who?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Joe Biden himself.
Although am I?
I don't think so. I don't know, dude.
Allegedly, I'm kidding.
Joe, in the Oval Office, Joe Biden has an envelope that contains a sentence that ties everything together.
Those were the FBI files that Trump tried to steal.
He stole...
He stole the info.
He stole
and they took it back.
The missing puzzle piece of this whole cheating web. He took it. Mm-hmm. And they had to lock that shit down because we're so close to figuring it out.
We're close to figuring this out ourselves that I don't know how much longer they can keep it from us. Who else is going to get cheated on?
It's just one more scandal, and it's all going to open up like Pandora's box. All of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was talking about this to my boyfriend the other day, where I was like, at the Harry Styles concert, Ned and Harry with Olivia. Like, I did that with my boyfriend, and he was like, what's wrong with you?
He's like, I feel like you're grasping at straws.
No, but he's like, I think you're stretching quite a bit here. And I was like, no, it's all connected. It's all there. I mean, they're both named Olivia. What else can I think?
We're like the Sunny in Philadelphia meme where he's trying to figure out where that letter came from. And he's like got the wires all over the walls and the papers and the letters.
I have a whiteboard in my office where there's red string going everywhere with pictures of all these people. Poor Harry.
Like, it's connected.
It is connected somehow. poor Harry is now associated with cheating in 2 different scandals. The one with Olivia, who again, I do believe it was over before that, but a lot of people are always going to think that she cheated with Harry. That's just a fact that people are going to still believe that, like some people. So he's associated with being a homewrecker. And he was at the concert that these cheaters went to. He's a cheater, man. He represents the cheaters.
Also, isn't he supposedly the one that broke up One Direction?
Well, Zayn left first.
Okay, so again, allegedly.
Allegedly. Zayn left first to do his own thing. Harry is arguably the most successful of any of the former members, so I'm sure he's not hurting about it, you know?
You know?
But I think it was Zayn's fault.
Two birds, one stone.
And now Harry is much bigger than I know. And, I have nothing against Harry Styles. I'm not a fan or anything. I just feel bad for him that now he's associated with all this.
Yeah, and I don't have anything against any of these people. I don't know them. They don't know me.
Right, exactly.
My opinion does not matter.
They'll never know who I am.
They'll probably never hear this.
This podcast that's going to get like 10 views max.
11.
Up to the most I've gotten on a podcast so far is I think like 25. So up to 25 people are gonna hear this, and it's probably not gonna be John Mulaney or Ned or Olivia Wilde.
You never know, but probably not.
But yeah, so cheating. It's sad. It's so sad. So you didn't, not to take everything back to movies like I like to do, but you haven't seen Don't Worry, Darling?
No, I haven't seen it yet because I'm weird about going to see movies in theaters. I will not spend my money because I feel like, so this is weird. This is just a little snippet about me. I feel like your dollar is your vote. You know what I mean? And if you spend your hard-earned capita on anything, that's you endorsing those people. You're sponsoring them. You're endorsing them. I refuse to spend money on movies that are crap. So if I don't know that the movie's going to be good, I will not be spending money on it. So I feel that. I'm definitely the person that needs the reviews. I need the little clips, the snippets, I need to know that it's worth it before I go. And then this one, I'm just gonna wait for it to stream for free because
I mean that's what I suggested you should do on my TikTok anyway, because I did make a TikTok about it and I just filmed a full video about it too. So, and I kind of told people like it's not worth seeing in theater. It wasn't bad, but it's not worth seeing in theater. So yeah, wait till it streams. I'm sure it'll stream soon.
I definitely be watching your movie review TikToks to see which movie is worth going on date night. I'm like, maybe not that one anymore. Raven didn't like it.
Raven didn't like it.
She said it wasn't that good. It was predictable. You know what we don't like? Predictability.
Well, I'm just like super good at predicting plots though. So.
No, me and my husband and I are good at it too, like ridiculously good at it. To the point where we ruin movies for ourselves sometimes, and then it's like, oh man, I wish we hadn't done that.
I know. Hold on, I locked my cat in this room by accident. Let me let her out real fast.
Oh, whoops. Hello, Raven's podcast. It's now my podcast.
Baby.
She doesn't know that I'm talking, but she's still recording. And I want you all to know that Raven is an amazing cousin, an amazing person, and here she comes. She's about to hear me talking some more.
I heard everything you said.
Oh. I thought you couldn't hear me because your headphones were off.
My headphones are loud as fuck. Hold on.
Oh. I thought you were gonna listen to that back and like edit or something like that and be like, oh, I could just skip this part. I'm gonna get my cat, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking.
I'll include it in the podcast.
That's funny.
Okay, so, I usually do a TikTok on movies that I see if I feel like they're worth mentioning. The only one I haven't done yet is Bros, which I really, really liked.
Oh, I really want to see that one. I knew I was going to see that one. Like, just from the first commercial, I was like, yep, that one's going to be it.
I saw it on my birthday.
There's also another horror movie coming out. I love all of these movies coming out with LGBTQ plus, like, front actors, like characters, front runners.
Definitely.
There's a horror movie coming out with Jonathan Groff, and he and his husband take their daughter to a cabin in the woods. Yeah, and it is literally a horror movie.
The M. Night Shyamalan movie, like Knock at the Cabin.
I literally am so excited for that one.
As much as M. Night Shyamalan like sucks, I watch all his movies. I saw Old in theaters. Going back to the theater thing, like I feel you. Like if there's a movie that like I don't want to like endorse financially, like I won't see it in theaters. I won't give it a view. I won't help the box office.
Nope.
However, now I have AMC A-List, where I pay monthly and I get to watch whatever movies I want. So my money doesn't technically go to those movies. My money goes to my subscription and I see the movie for free. So that's why I saw it in theaters. I didn't want to, actually, to be honest with you. I didn't want to see Don't Worry, Darling in theaters. Do you have something to say? Okay. I didn't want to see Don't Worry, Darling in theaters because I thought that the trailer looked like shit. It looked like it was going to be one of those horror movies where it's just like the main couple like makes out the whole time. And so that really turned me off about the marketing. And then my boyfriend, I have to see so many movies I never would have seen because of my art house film boyfriend. He wants to see so many things that I never would have seen, and I have to go with him because what else am I going to do? And so he really wanted to see that.
It's a girlfriend's job.
Right. And, I've made him see movies he didn't want to see, so it's fine. And actually, even then I was like, maybe you can go see it with your friends without me. But I have a friend who I was like, I really want to go to the movies with you for my birthday. And it was for her birthday, I wanted to give her movie tickets, right? And so I gave her some free movie tickets that I had. And I was like, you can pick whatever movie. Shut up. You can pick whatever movie you want with these tickets, and she picked Don't Worry, Darling, because she's a old school One Direction fan, and Harry was her favorite. And it's funny because going into the theater, because I go like at least once a week, sometimes multiple times a week because of A-List. People going in to see Don't Worry, Darling, most of them were wearing Harry Styles t-shirts, which
and
was
that's funny because that's definitely one of the reasons that I was turned off from going to see it, because I was like, wow, look, another pop star wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
Yeah.
That was definitely my first impression. Was that.
Mine, it was going to be like too much. I don't like watching people kiss. I think it's gross. The movie Bodies, Bodies, Bodies that came out recently, my main problem with that is that it opens with this really long makeout scene between the two main female characters. And I don't care what gender you are, sexual, I don't give a fuck. I just don't want to watch close-ups of people kissing. I don't like the sound of kissing. I don't like watching it. I don't even really like doing it sometimes. It just kind of grosses me out.
Fair.
So when I saw that the trailer was mostly Florence and Harry making out, I was like, I don't want to see this. But then I watched the movie, and there's like 2 sex scenes that cut away very quickly. And then it's only in like the first like couple scenes of the movie, and then we don't get that at all. And so I was like, it's really weird that this was the whole trailer, were these 2 very short sex scenes that made it seem like it was going to happen in the whole movie. So also
sex sells.
The marketing was just so weird and it wasn't about that at all. And it's like, yeah, sex sells, but also like it's not about that at all. It's about a woman being trapped in a simulation by her husband. So it's like, why are we focusing on the sex part of this? So
try to like entice people into the theaters, I guess. But also because like there's been a running theme recently in the marketing world, and I feel like I can say this because I am a marketing major. So I've been doing a lot of like textbook studying in my schoolage. The majority of people choose not to go to a movie because they feel like the preview gave all of it away.
That,
you know what I mean? All the good parts.
I was literally just talking about this in the video that I filmed today, and the last video I put out about another movie, The Invitation, because the twist.
I want to see that.
The twist in The Invitation is that it's vampires, but there's vampires in the trailer. So in the movie, they act like it's supposed to be a surprise, but we already know what's going to happen from the trailer, that she's going to be tricked into marrying a vampire. It was literally in the freaking trailer.
See that right there, exactly. I felt the same way about the movie Knives Out.
Yeah.
The movie where they were all running around like killing each other for a game. Like every single scene that was noteworthy was in the trailer. You watch the movie if you watch the trailer. Like
yes. I know you're talking about a different movie, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't Knives Out. It was the one where
she got married. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets married, and then they have this game where it's like you have to pick whatever game. You pick the card because it's your wedding day, and then we all have to play the game no matter what.
Hide and seek or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. But basically, that whole trailer was the movie,
right?
Even down to the lines, like half of the movie is them running and hiding from each other, so all of the dialogue you had in the trailer, like
But yeah, about trailers, like I was literally just talking about that because in my review that I just filmed, that will probably be out before this, is when I talked about Don't Worry Darling, I also talked about Smile, and I talked about Barbarian.
Oh, I'm excited for Smile.
Oh, I was so excited for Smile. And a thing I mentioned about both Smile and Barbarian is that the trailers don't give it away. There's like twists and turns and unexpected things. I mean, there's not really a twist in Smile, but there's like unexpected moments and things that happen where you're not sure how it's going to go. And they don't give it away in the trailer. Barbarian has a pretty big twist that they don't reference in the trailer at all. You think it's going to be about something completely different than it is. And I loved that. I really respected that because like so many trailers, even if they don't say like this is the twist, they'll show something that you don't know what it is. And then you watch the movie and you'll be like, oh, this thing I saw in the trailer is probably going to be the twist. And then it is. And then you're like, well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
So,
I think PR and marketing people are taking note of the opinions of the public. And that is the biggest factor for new trailers and things like that. And if any marketing people are listening, you can hit my line. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, it's my last semester. I'm very content where I am. No, that was just my opinion on trailers, though. But from a schooling point of view, I think that is where they're going with, like trying to veer away from the classic giving all the good parts to entice you to come see the movie and switching it to, oh, this seems interesting.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If the only good part of your movie is the twist, then it's like maybe it's a bad movie. Because I feel like that was the thought behind The Invitation, because nothing really happens that's like horror related at all until the vampire twist. So they had to show that in the trailer to let you know, to show that it's a vampire movie, to show that it's like a horror thriller and not just like a romantic drama, because it's literally a romantic drama into like the third act. And if they had just showed that, the same people wouldn't have gone to see it. So like they had to spoil their own movie. But in that case, you should have just put more horror suspense thriller stuff in the movie before your twist, so that we would get it was a thriller but not know it's vampires. And that's what Barbarian did, because in Barbarian, which, have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, you should. So I won't spoil it for you, but in Barbarian, it's about something, and we know it's about a basement. We don't know what's in the basement. We don't know who's in the basement. We don't know how it got there or what it's going to do to us. All we know from the trailer is these two people get booked at the Airbnb at the same time, and there's a basement in this Airbnb, and there's something scary. And we don't know what it is, but we get that this is a thriller. We get that something's going to happen in this basement, and we don't know what it is until we see the movie. And that's where the twist and the shock comes from, because if we had seen I'll call it, because I don't want to spoil it, I'll call it an entity. The entity that is in this basement, we don't see until we see the movie, and that makes it 100% more effective than if they had showed even a flash of it in the trailer, because then I would watch the movie and be like, oh, I know what's going to be in this basement. I don't know when it's going to happen or where or how it's going to happen, but I know that this thing is going to be in this basement, and I'm just going to look out for that. But because they didn't do that, I watched this movie, and until it happened, I was like, what are they going to find? Who is it? Is the Bill Skarsgård character going to be in there doing something? Because we know he's in the trailer. And I was like, is he going to be kidnapping them? I know Justin Long is is he in the basement? Is he trapped in the basement, or is he the villain of the basement? I literally don't know. So the whole time I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, I was interested, I was on the edge. I wasn't just waiting for what I knew was already going to be there, and that was so important to my viewing experience.
Yeah, I think that's that's important to note too, because majority of people go see movies based on their friends and family's reviews of these movies.
Right.
So if your friends and family are coming to you saying, oh, all the good parts are in the trailer, just wait for it to come out, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to go spend money. But if they're like, no, like, this was so good, you need to go see it immediately. It's nothing like the trailer. That gets that's buzz. You know what I mean? That word of mouth marketing, it travels 10 times faster than any other form of traditional marketing. So you got to get people to talk about your movie in a positive way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I make TikToks, because I'm trying to save people from watching the bad stuff.
And I love it. I watch every single one of your movie review TikToks. I'm like, and then I go to my husband. I'm like, Raven said this one was not the move. We don't have to watch this one.
Yeah. My best friend will do that, except she'll do she'll like save my TikToks, go watch the movie, and then watch my TikTok and see if she agrees with me.
That's so funny.
But I'm glad that you do that, because I've like literally some of these movies like are so disappointing, and I'm like, I need to save people from seeing this.
No, you gotta save people from spending their money on nonsense.
Yeah. But also I want to encourage you to see the good stuff, because if I do that and more people see that stuff, that's what we're going to get more of. And I'm just trying to encourage that. Like Barbarian was a good original horror movie, which we never get. And Smile was a good original idea. And obviously any movie, there's borrowed ideas from somewhere. Like, you know, the person living in your house is a trope, but it's like, and the entity that like follows you and curses you, like in Smile, is a trope, but it's like what you do with that trope that's like special and unique. And I want to encourage that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, we talked about a lot of stuff tonight. We talked about cheating and more cheating and heartbreak, and then we talked about movies. So I feel like we've ended on a good note here.
Positive note.
Positive note. Basically, in conclusion, watch Barbarian and Smile, and don't cheat on your spouse.
Yep.
So, I think that's good for the night.
And support small businesses.
Support small businesses.
And stop supporting these crazy celebrity influencers that we don't know what their lives are like.
Yeah, just drop influencer culture in general, honestly. Live your own life. Be happy within yourself.
Go back to the neighborhoods and the communities and the cul-de-sacs and the support neighbor
your roots.
Vibe.
Yeah, make friends in real life. Look up to them.
Yeah.
So look up to yourself, most importantly. Be the person that you want to be.
Make yourself happy first. Fill your own cup. And then those who will be gravitated towards that positive change in your life will come when they come.
Well spoken. And with that, I will say thank you for joining me, Nick. I had such a great time. I hope to see you again on here in the future.
It is always a pleasure hanging out with you, Raven. Thank you for having me. And if there are any other topics of conversation you'd like to hear me ramble about, I would love to come back.
Definitely. I will have you on. I've had such a great time. And that's it. Bye, listeners.
Bye.